What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Hey guys, I made a video yesterday. It's posted already. I was talking about subcontractors and getting accounts and stuff like that. I was on my deck, and this is the next video after that one. So just to kind of go into it and kind of hit on the points that I didn't hit on the previous video. So I am on my way to clean one of my accounts. Now, if you've been following me for any period of time, you've known that, most of my accounts were filled. My subcontractors were doing it. In the past few weeks, that's slowly been dwindling away, right? Where, subcontractors just aren't working out. Some that I've had over a period of time, now they're dropping off. Some of them are getting their own accounts and all this other stuff, so I get it. But it's given me the opportunity now to kind of fine tune and refresh my team of cleaners, right? Because over a period of time, doing anything, repeatedly or consistently, you're going to get some kind of wear and tear. Everybody's going to get burnt out and stuff like that. And I try to personally not do that to my cleaners, so I don't try to give any one cleaner or any one cleaning team too many accounts at once. I usually kind of ramp them up to get multiple accounts. This cleaner or subcontractor that I have is about to leave. Well, they've left. They decided after conversations back and forth, because things weren't going as smoothly as they should have been doing. Coordination wasn't being made as it should have been made, which made my job as the prime, as the business owner, a little difficult, because you have to inform your clients when there's changes to the schedule, if there's changes to the team, anything like that. But when you're not getting that information in time for you to relay it to the client, it makes things difficult. It makes you look bad. It doesn't make you look like you have control of what's going on. So over the period of time, there have been certain issues that have been coming up, and it's run its course. So I'm on my way to clean an account. It's a smaller account. But it's twice a week, right? So it's a small account. It takes maybe less than an hour, maybe an hour, if you're taking your time and you're going to be in detail, right? Twice a week. So she turned in the keys to both accounts because she has other clients, and apparently my accounts were not priority to the ones that she already has, which is cool, all cool. Just as long as you let me know, I can coordinate, work something out, get somebody else in there. So that's another. Like I said, if you heard me before, you know that I got rid of some subcontractors and got rid of some accounts, and most of this by choice, and this one kind of a mutual agreement. So I say all that to say this, right? I realized that I lost a subcontractor that had 2 accounts. I already lost another contractor that had 1 account, so that's 3 accounts that's available, that I need to reassign. And I kind of got it figured out already, but the thing about it is I'm not stressed about it. When the stressful part was dealing with the issues that were going back and forth, right? Lack of communication, changes in the schedules, not knowing what's going on, being out of the loop, all that other stuff, stressing me out, pissing me off, all of the other stuff. And that's not how you want to operate. So it was stress that's taken off of me. And I'm not stressed now because it's like I said in the other video, multiplication by subtraction, where you take away the thing that's bothering you. And I use this analogy. I was an air traffic controller for my entire career in the Air Force. Well, I did other jobs, but I was an air traffic controller by trade. And in air traffic control, you have, if you're familiar with it, there's hundreds and thousands of planes in the sky, but you're dealing with a certain section of airspace that you're dealing with. And it used to be I'm more of a person that has to go like this, right? And I need things to go smoothly and work the way that I want them to work. Well, dealing with air traffic control, you would have to be more patient, more calm, and understand the big picture and how to make that big picture out of the different, let's say, dots or the different kind of circumstances that you have, how do you make that flow smoothly so that everyone gets home safely? And one of my trainers, and I can't remember which one it was, I think it was one of the trainers I had when I was stationed in Vegas, and they'll know who they are if they've ever watched my video, who said it. But I appreciate you because I still remember what you said, right? So when you have all of these planes or all of these situations going on and it starts to stress you out, normally if you take one thing out of the equation, everything smooths out. So if you have a bunch of planes all in the same area, if you take one of those planes out of that situation and bring them back around to follow, it makes everything else a lot smoother. So when I say multiplication by subtraction, taking that person or that team that's been kind of stressing you out, or that account that's been stressing you out, that nothing seems to go well, they always want to complain or whatever. If you take them out of the equation, how would your life be after that? How would the circumstance or the situation be after that? Don't be afraid to fire a subcontractor, to fire an employee, to fire a client. If you have to, if you take them out of the equation, your whole situation will be a whole lot smoother. So with that, and I don't want this video to get entirely too long, but before I go any further in the video, a lot of this stuff and most of the stuff that I talk about, I learned under Klean Biz Network, AJ Simmons, and Klean Biz Network. And if you haven't followed him, you haven't seen him, you've never watched him or whatever, type in AJ Simmons, type in Klean Biz Network, B-I-Z Network, and his videos will pop up everywhere, right? And I learned from him. And then I learned even more after joining that. I joined the automations, where I partner with AJ in the automations program, which helps businesses, or helps us teach businesses how to take their business to the next level, how to elevate it. And I always say now, in order to elevate, you need to automate. So automate to elevate, right? So I didn't want to go any further without kind of putting that out there and let you know where I get this information from. I didn't get this information just on my own, but of course I do a lot of research, but there are resources out there that he has a lot of free information out there. I have a lot of free information out there. A lot of mine are a lot of videos like this where I just talk, not no editing and all that other stuff. I just talk and tell you about situations, scenarios, and how I'm working them. So with that being said, knowing that you can take away something does not mean that you're failing, does not mean that you're losing, does not mean that you're going backwards, right? It just means that you're preparing your way so that you can continue to grow. My daughter tells me, and my wife tells me the same thing. Every time I go through these seasons in my business where something is being taken away or I'm losing something or anything like that, I always, every single time, I elevate. I always get an account that's more than the account that I lost. I always get a job that's more than a job that I may have lost, right? So, but if I did not lose what it was that I lost, I would not have the room or the opportunity to be able to take that new opportunity, right? So it made room for me to get that opportunity. Like right now, I'm bidding on an apartment complex. I literally gave one of my clients a notice 30 days ago, and at the end of the month we'll be done, right? But after I sent that notice and I had some other issues with some subcontractors, I got an email about coming to do a walkthrough for a previous client that I had that had moved to another location, right? So I finished with the proposal, already submitted and all this other stuff, and I have a good feeling about it. But this account, if I get it, is more than the account that I'm about to lose, right? But I would not have been able to take this account, God willing I get it, would not be able to take this account if I didn't let that account go. Because that account that I'm letting go was taxing. It took so much out of me. It was always something that needed to be done, it needed to be fixed, that, just because of just the dynamic of the account and what they do there and stuff like that, it was hard to keep that account clean. It was just a nightmare, right? And I say this it was a nightmare because they wouldn't allow me to change the scope of work to what I knew or what I know would make it work. They wanted to keep the same scope of work. I'm sorry, I'm at a light and I'm trying to see. But they wanted to keep the same scope of work. But if they would allow me to change the scope of work, everything would have worked out and I would have kept the account. But they didn't, and I can't operate under those old scopes or checklists or anything like that with the change in the complexity of the job. All right, hopefully that makes sense. But anyway, so just be willing to subtract if the goal is to multiply and get bigger and better opportunities, bigger and better accounts, better subcontractors and stuff like that. Everything runs its course. Nothing is forever, so you want to make sure that you are open to that. With that being said, I am on my way almost to the next account, and I will catch you on the next video. And remember this, another thing that I always used to tell my students. I was an instructor in the Air Force when I was in Biloxi, Mississippi, and I taught air traffic control. And I used to tell my students this all the time, right?